This is a normal Minecraft boat. I'll admit it looks okay, but it could be better. And by better, I mean this. In this video I'll show you a few different designs and tips on how to build custom boats in Minecraft. If this is your first time here and you want to learn how to build better, get some building ideas, and overall just improve at Minecraft, start now by subscribing and clicking the bell below. Without any further ado, let's get started. I'll be building this boat and giving you some tips along the way to help you get better at this. So the first step in building the boat is building the base. Building the base of your boat is one of the hardest parts of the entire boat. Starting with the very bottom layer, it should be pretty symmetrical. A lot of people make it pointy towards the front end of the boat, which is very wrong. Another thing that people get wrong is the shape. The shape shouldn't be a square, rather an oval. Finally, the length and width of the boat is very important. Here is a boat from a server that I played on, which as you can see is unfinished. The reason is that it was too big. The maximum size that I would recommend is a base of 14 blocks and a width of 3. If you want to build anything bigger, the way to figure out your length and width is by simply taking your width and multiplying it by 5. This will give you an approximate of how long your boat should be. After building the base, it's now time to build the bottom layer of the boat. A lot of people think that the back is just a flat wall, and I can say that that is very wrong. The way to properly do this is by slowly curving the back to make a wall. I like to go out one block, then have one wall, which gives it some curvature. The front of the boat is a little harder to do. I started by creating a U shape, then slowly curving it to the front like this. Then I connect the front and the back by adding a wall that stretches from the end of the boat to the start. Now that the entire bottom layer of the boat is done, it's time to move up to the deck. I like to start by picking a type of wood to use, and as a general rule of thumb, use any color of wood that is lighter than the shade of the actual boat. Fill in the entire boat and we'll add the details after. Firstly, starting with the upper deck where the steering wheel is, I start by going up 2 blocks and then adding some stairs to create this shape. Then, after I build the upper deck, I add a little wall around them to give it a border. From here, I move to the central area of the deck to create a little staircase down to the lower layer. This will give me access into the bottom so that I can use it for things such as storing all the pirate treasure. If you've made it this far into the video, comment below by saying pirate Aeon. Next step is building the mast and the head of the boat. Building the mast is pretty simple. All you have to do is take the length of the boat and subtract the width, and that is the height of your mast. In this case, it was 11 blocks. I built 2 masts, one with a simple fence up top and another with a lookout. Moving on to the actual sails, I just like to curve it, and to be honest, this part is pretty simple. Next thing to add is the head of the boat, and I do this by placing stairs all the way to the end and then add a slab at the very end. Finally, I add a little cloth between the front mast and the head of the boat to give it a nice little piratey vibe to it. If any of these tips have helped you out so far, make sure to join the Discord in the description below and send some pictures of these in action. Moving on to the final step of the entire process, which is adding the details. This part is so very simple. First, start by adding little trapdoors where the cannons are supposed to go. From here, you can start adding the fencing of the entire boat. The fencing style that I chose to go with is a fence followed by a fence gate. This takes away from the symmetrical look, and I highly recommend to do this for yours, not even in boats but in every other type of fence. Finally, I added the little steering wheel using an acacia trapdoor and 1 black stone wall. If you've enjoyed, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Also, join the Discord in the description below, and if your boat is looking good and your roofs aren't, watch the video on the screen right now. Goodbye, and I'll see you in another.